Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we are going to be checking in for week 2 of June, which is going to be from the 11th to the 17th. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and get my expenses. I already wrote them down. And I am so sad. This month we do have our first unbudgeted expense that we've had in quite a bit of time, and it just has to do with like insurance, I guess. Oh my gosh. So let's go ahead and just get right into it and then we'll talk about it when it comes. We're going to be using the same app that we always use, which is the Daily Budget app. I will have a video linked below talking about the apps that we like to use. Since we are normally cashless budgeters, for the month of June, I am testing out a hybrid system using cash envelopes, along with utilizing a mainly electronic system. This is probably the only month that I would be doing hybrid. I probably will be going back to doing electronic everything, but I will have a video linked below talking about our bank accounts and how they're hooked up to each other for our checking accounts or saving accounts. The two videos, one is kind of like how they're all intertwined with each other, and then the other video is like in depth how we set up the accounts, how they all function, I guess you could say. And then yeah, so I just wanted to mention that so I don't have to talk your ear off explaining it in this video. And also, if you guys did have questions, but the Daily Budget app, we are going to be going to the 11th. But we are going to be going to the 11th. So the 11th starts here. You guys know the icons I like to use. Fork and knife is for eating out. Then we have the baby icon for pups and bean. Gas is like a gas thing, but this is where I'm getting the transactions from. This little house icons, those are to symbolize like sinking funds, and I just put the category in front of it. But that's just what's been working out for us. But we're gonna go ahead and just get right into the 11th. So the first thing is a coal fire. We did end up getting another coal fire pizza because it's just so good. Honestly, we might end up getting another one sometime this week again. And I think we did end up getting coal fire like another time too, but my husband ended up paying for it with his money from his account. But we have the coal fire pizza. Next thing is we did buy a bunch of things from, I believe it was from Target, for a beanie, because we did take her to the pool for the first time. It was so much fun. We're only there for like 15 minutes, but it still doesn't change the fact that it was so much fun. We ended up getting her a cute little bathing suit. It's like one that covers a lot of her skin. And then we got her sunblock, we got her swimming diapers, and then we just picked up some other random things like some more pouches and foods and snacks. But that is for the 11th for $40 for swimsuits or swim stuff. The only other categories we had were from sinking funds, so we'll talk about those in a second. But next week on the 13th, we had a Costco expense for $41. We've been making small Costco trips, which I'm very surprised at because I feel like every time we go to Costco, we end up spending so much money. So it feels nice, honestly. But besides that, the last thing that we have for this whole week was for gas. We did end up paying for gas $35 on the 17th. And then we did have an unbudgeted expense, which was that dentist expense. Oh my goodness. So what happened is, back in February, I ended up paying like $800 back in February for dentists. Because for the crown, that's what the estimate that they were giving. I know that it's an estimate and it can be off, but it ended up being an underestimate of like $617.50. We ended up calling the billing department, like, why is this so off? Like, it's never been, their estimates have never been this off before. And it turned out is because the insurance that we had, like Cigna Advantage or whatever, this specific thing was not covered. Like, it was out of network, but like everything else is in network. So I'm like, you guys that doesn't make any sense. Like, you guys didn't know that. Like, this is like this is a lot of money, you know? Like, it's $617. Like, it's not just like a couple of hundred or a $50 or something. It's quite the chunk. So I was, of course, a little annoyed by it because, like, I've been going there for years now, and this one specific thing for a crown is not covered. So, like, I was just like, I don't know how the insurance stuff works, but it doesn't change the fact that, like, just caught us off guard and it wasn't expected, and it was quite the bit of money. So that's that unbudgeted expense amount, which is like just there. And the annoying thing is like they wanted me to do 2 crowns as well. So if I listened to them and did 2 of them, that means we would have been out like an additional, like, what is that, like $1,300, because of them not knowing that it was out of network. Like, that is actually really annoying. So I'm just happy that I only did 1 and it's not double the amount. There's that one unbudgeted expense. I like to track the unbudgeted in here just for a visual, because I really like to have this in here. Though this dentist expense is not a part of my categories for eating out, groceries, gas, allowance, pups, and bean. These I track in this weekly check-in. This is really like an abnormal thing, because this comes out of our sinking funds, because I do have like a slight small cushion for unbudgeted things, but I just like to add this in my view. It's just a personal preference. I just like to have this here for me to see. But yeah, so let's actually just go ahead and just check in for the weekly check-in. But first, let's actually talk about the sinking funds before I forget. So for the sinking funds, we had a few more categories. For the first one is for clothes. We spent $27. I got a dress. This is like my first article of clothing that I've purchased really since like birth of our baby. But I ended up getting a cute summer dress for $27. Then for household, we spent $57 for cleaning supplies. We ended up getting like this handheld vacuum, like some mop buckets, like a bunch of new cleaning supply items, because I've been watching Jamie's Journey on YouTube, and she's like a cleaning channel for the most part. So satisfying, and it's been making us get our butts back in line with taking care of our home. But that was from household. For home, we also spent $224 to purchase some shoe benches and storage and stuff for our home as well. We really wanted to start taking care of our home more, because we kind of suck at it. We used to not be this bad, but I think with like life and having a baby, like, not to make excuses, because we should have always been taking care of our home, but we definitely slacked off. So we're really trying to get back into it. Then, of course, we have the medical, which is $350 for the first part of dentist, since we did not have the full amount in medical, and I really didn't want to be in the negatives again. And then the remaining amount that we were missing to cover the full $618, we took out from unbudgeted. So that is what the sinking funds looks like. But now to check in for our weekly check-in. Alright, so we have all of our categories written down, and this is the spread that I use to track our daily expenses for eating out, groceries, gas, allowance, pups, and bean. And these are currently, for this month, we're using cash envelopes. We normally always have these in a checking account since everything's electronic, but since this month is hybrid, we're using these only as cash envelopes. But let's just check everything in. We have one for beans category, which is $40. Then we have one for gas, which is $35. We have one for eating out, $25. And then for groceries, one is for $41 for groceries. I'm very surprised. We've been doing pretty well with eating stuff at home and cooking every single day with just like what we have in our deep freezer and stuff. So I'm pretty proud of us. I feel like normally at this point in time we would have spent like a bunch already, but technically we still have, but in sinking funds and in unbudgeted money. So it still sucks regardless. But let's just go ahead and just move on forward. So let's see, the first category for eating out, we still have $250 remaining. Then for groceries, $218 minus 41 equals $177 for groceries. Then we have for gas, we had $89 last week, that minus 35 equals $54 remaining. Allowance still at $75. And then for pups and baby, 100 minus 40, I don't know why I did that. 100 minus 40 is $60 left over. So let's just balance these out real quick since we're here. Alright, so I have my binder. Let's go ahead and just check in for the cash envelopes. So for weekly check-in, we're at 250, or should be at 250 for eating out. Let me actually just move this to the side. Or let me put this here. I don't know. I'm just trying something different from last week. So we have 250, 100, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, 240, 245, and 250 for eating out. Next category we have is for groceries, which should be at $117 or $177 for groceries. And we have 50, 100, 150, 170, 175, 76, and 177. So that looks good for groceries. Then we have gas. For gas, it should be $54. 50, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Allowance, we have 75. It should still be the same. 20, 40, 60, 70, and 75. Last but not least, we have the pups and the bean. We should have $40. Sorry, $60. 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. Ooh, okay, so we are balanced out for this week as well. Let's draw some. Okay, so we're looking good. So now that our cash envelopes are checked in, we're going to be balancing out our checking account. But before we do, let's flip back to our sinking funds and let's go ahead and do our savings tracker for our cash collect. I realized I also almost forgot to write. I don't know why I always have a problem with like Sharpie markers bleeding all over me, but I'm gonna use this very briefly for our cash collect. Like, I'm not even gonna put like descriptions or anything like that because it doesn't really matter to me, but I do want to save some more funds for this savings challenge. So let's do, I think I'm just gonna take, because I don't know if I'm gonna be using beauty anytime soon, so I think I'm actually going to take a full $100 from beauty category. What's today's date? 18/23. I haven't been, well, I feel like I don't really write the date for these a lot. So let me just take this out. So that is for cash collect. Okay, that's like really ugly to see, but all right, so that's $100 that we're gonna be transferring out for this. So let's just go ahead and do the remaining 100. So that means for this so far, and I'm gonna keep these dashes in here because I'm planning on using a different color for like the next go around, and I'm gonna do it like this way with a different color. But this first jar, we've now officially saved $200, and I'm going to color this in as pink since that's like the first color that we used. So for next week's check-in, we'll probably use a different color, maybe like a purple or something, but I don't know if you guys can see that. And then we'll just keep going forward, and hopefully we'll keep going and we'll be able to save this before September. But so we have another 100. This is now $200. Look at this thing. I don't know why it's like so bleedy. All right, now I've gotten a Sharpie mark all over me. We're gonna continue this one next week. Let's just go ahead and just keep going. All right, now to check in with our checking accounts. Let's go ahead and fill this in. I guess since we're in the habit, we'll just put cash because this is in cash envelopes, because I'm just so used to always writing these categories. I did thoroughly go through the explanation for this in first week's check-in or week 1 check-in if you guys want to know a little bit more about like the setup, but we're gonna go ahead and just check in and make this week a quick check-in. But let's just do the starting amounts. We had $239.78 since that's what we ended with the previous week, and then this one's at $3,467. I sometimes don't even fill this in, but we filled it in, so we're here. This is in cash, so we don't check it off. But now we're gonna do bills. I'm gonna go ahead and check our checking account and credit card to see if any bills came out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so no bills came out, so that makes it really easy, but we definitely had a lot of sinking funds. We're gonna go ahead and add all of this up. So water and sewer was $120. Water, sewer, clothes, we have plus 27, plus 57 for household, plus home is 224, plus 350, plus 268, plus 100. Okay, so my lights went out. Okay, so the light's back on. And this is a total of $1,146 from this week. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see what the results video for this week is going to be, or this month is going to be, because this is the most that we've spent in such a short period of time for our sinking funds. But let's go ahead and just calculate it. So since that's what we had minus what we started with, means we still have $2,321 left over. And I realized, why did I do nothing? Because if nothing was spent, we still have $239.78 left over. So this is what this is looking like. Now let's go ahead and do the transfer. We need to do the transfer for the 1,146 real quick, and then we will be right back. Alrighty, so we're looking good. Now let's go ahead and balance our accounts real quick. Let me tell you guys how much is in these accounts. This savings account is now a different amount. We got another paycheck, so that means we transferred over another $1,300. So let me just show you guys, keep the other one around for reference, but currently in here we have $4,514.14, and that is $1,300 more. So this account is now good. This is like, what number? This is our third pay. Yes, this is our third paycheck so far that's came in. So we still have 2 more to go for the month. Now for our checking account, this is our second checking. This account, this balance is now inaccurate. The amount in here is now currently, I kind of wish I never wrote Save Apple here, because now I always have to white it out, but the amount in here currently is $2,560.78. So let's see if that is correct. So let's see, where is our calculator? We have 239.78 plus 2321. Yes, and that is matching perfectly. So that means this account is now balanced as well. So we're ready to go for the rest of the month or next week's check-in. But that is actually going to be it for this video. Now that everything is balanced out, we have completed checking in our cash envelopes. That's so fun saying. I know I said that last video too, but it's, yeah, we balanced our cash envelopes, we balanced our checking account that pays for our sinking funds and our bills. We balanced out our sinking fund spread over here, along with, we did our little savings challenge for the month too. Alright, so let's see what the rest of June holds for us. Thank you guys so much as always for tuning in. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!